I prayed my most important prayer on August 15th, 1944, 75 years ago. I was in Vacation Bible School at First Baptist, and I'd been wanting to talk to Miss Catherine Walker, and just almost miraculously one day, all the kids were going out to recess, and I met her in the hall, and I said, "I've been wanting to talk to you." And we stepped into an empty classroom. She read me a couple of verses. I agreed that I needed Jesus. I prayed then and there to ask him into my heart as my Savior. And 75 years later, I still love him. Catherine Walker was at our church during World War II for a couple of years. Then she went on to be a missionary to China until the communists came in, and finally finished a long career in Indonesia. And keeping in touch with her through all those years, she's been my mentor, is even my mentor today in a daily, what do you call the little calendar where you change it every day? A.W. Tozer, Catherine gave me. So I get a little nudge on that. And she died at 100 and a half. And not too long before she died, she said she would like for me to continue to pray for her nieces and nephews, some of whom I knew, and their families. And I think I was praying this morning, their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, that they all know Jesus. That's the way I pray for Catherine. I used to like to kneel to pray. That meant I'd gotten serious. I'm no longer able to kneel, and times are brief and interrupted. So I mainly pray spontaneously when I think of somebody. And we mentioned before the help prayer idea, the help and thanks and wow. I pray the help one. I used to pray, Lord, bless somebody, but I realize that that's sort of vague and they need specific help. And that's the way I pray. Help my children, help my husband. My father was dying, and we got the word that he was in the hospital dying. I remember praying about that, and the next morning we got word that he was all right, not all right, but he was living. He lived a few more years, died when I was 9. But I've always looked back to that as a real answered prayer. Somebody tried to tell me later that it wasn't because I didn't know Jesus at the time. I just want to say sorry about that. But I remember that one. I remember other prayers, particularly during wartime. I was a World War II kid. And First Baptist was packed and people standing all around the wall on the night of D-Day. I'll never forget that. We were downright crowded, and there were enough important things that happened during the war that we would all be called to pray. Excuse my voice. That sort of thing, and family needs. You didn't exactly pray all the time, as the Bible says to do, but you had situations that called for nothing but prayer. That's all that would matter. In 1 Thessalonians 5:17, pray without ceasing. That bothered me even when I was a young Christian. I thought, what in the world? And I ran some references in BibleGateway.com, which is my new way of studying the Bible. In other words, I have short prayers now and comparing verses in there. And make your life a prayer. Wow. That's something. So I just pray spontaneously, as I said, when I think of those things. And before that, because we think of praying as being so, pious and so forth, be cheerful no matter what you do, no matter what. Pray all the time. That's another version. I think I'm there now. Cheerful in the sense that things are still funny, and I like to laugh, and I do pray, and I haven't given up yet.